And we are live. Hi, guys. I'm Angie Solar. I will do a much better job at introducing everyone tonight. I am a lifetime diamond Beachbody coach. So if you're not aware of that terminology, don't worry about it. It's all good. But we are having another Shakeology Shakedown call with Brianna Ramseur, and she's about to be a PA. So we are so happy for her. She's been through a lot of schooling and very smarty pants. So we're just thankful that she's on this call, and really just for her heart for others. And she is in the healthcare, industry, and she has a passion for all of her patients. And so that's the biggest thing is when we're going to be talking about Shakeology and breaking it down. Today's call is going to focus on the overall, breakdown, kind of a quick blurb about it. She's going to be covering, man, I had my little notes and then they just went away. That happens, right? It's like you're
every time.
Okay, so she's going to give an overall blurb talking about who it doesn't benefit, how it benefits people who aren't married or even dating our meal plans. So that's a good, talking point. And honestly, even the fitness side of it, you could be doing another type of sport or working out in the gym. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a Beachbody fitness program, but nutrition's so good, you don't want to miss out on that. Because really, we're a company that has it all. So if you want it, we've got it and you can try it. Also, we're going to talk about texture. Not everyone's going to like the same thing. Not everyone's going to like the same flavor. We've got a plethora, but still, texture is going to be, an issue for some. And so we're going to address it instead of just saying, well, it just tastes good. And we're also going to be talking about, why she chose to try it and why she decided to stick with it. So Brianna was a discount coach, and it was kind of nice to be able to say that. But after doing extensive research, she is now working the business. So, we're thankful for that. Just even more people to talk to and help along the way. But, congratulations to her for being an Emerald level coach. And we're also going to be talking about, or Brianna will be talking about the cost quality breakdown and comparison between a few different companies. So we're not going to name them, but it's just to give a perspective about, not only where you're putting your dollars, but are you doing so wisely and for your health and for your family's health. So without further ado, I'll have Brianna go a little bit more in detail to introduce herself, but I did a better job than last time, and I'll get better as we continue these calls. But being on the call, Brianna.
Hey, I'm Brianna. I am a registered nurse right now I'm working in the emergency department. I lack about 2 weeks of school to have my master's in nursing with a degree in acute care, adult gerontology nurse practitioner. So I have done quite a lot of schooling, especially in areas of research and how to do research, which is how I ended up researching Shakeology at all. I started out as a discount coach. I was not going to work this business because I was not going to work any business. And Angie said, hey, I would really like to do some calls where we break down the ingredients, and I think you'd be great to do this. And so I thought, I love research. I love to read about complementary and alternative medicine. And so I thought, okay, yeah, I'll read about it, and okay, fine. I'll do a call. And so our last call was really long and boring. We covered a lot of the superfood ingredients that are in Shakeology. And we focused a lot on peer-reviewed research that kind of showed what those ingredients can do for the body. And we talked briefly, really towards the end of the call, about who can benefit from Shakeology. And we wanted to be able to kind of hit those highlights up front so that people would be able to kind of just have a brief, this is what's in it and this is who should take it. It is really easy, especially anytime that you're invested in a product where it is your business, to not be overly aggressive necessarily, but to be really enthusiastic and say, everybody needs this, and give it to everybody. And while there is, a great deal of super nutrition that's in Shakeology, we do have to always consider clinically whether or not it's safe for somebody to take. So I'm going to start with, people that we know for sure shouldn't take it. First of all, anybody who's allergic to a product in a drink should not take Shakeology, as that would be not a good situation for them. The other is anybody who is on a low protein diet out of medical necessity. People who have end-stage renal disease really have to reduce the amount of protein because their kidneys just are not able to handle it and process it. And so when we talk about people who are not going to benefit from Shakeology, really those people that are on low protein diets are not. There are 16 grams of protein in a serving of Shakeology. And it's heavy in protein because it's made for people to, really focus on protein and building muscle, building strength. It is great for people who are looking to lose weight. It is not a weight loss drink. And that is something we're going to talk about kind of when we do the cost benefit breakdown, just because there are drinks on the market that are weight loss drinks. They have a chemical component to them that is going to say like, okay, take this and it's going to boost your metabolism and it's going to, jack your heart rate up and it's going to help you lose weight. It's not healthy. It's not safe. But Shakeology is not that. It is a nutrient dense shake. It is made for people who want to focus on nutrition. If you are an athlete, it's great. High protein is great for athletes. It helps build muscle, which you break down during exercise. For most of us, especially those of us who are coaching, for most of us, we really are going to need to focus on putting that protein back in, putting that nutrition back in, because most of us are following the workouts of some sort. I'm addicted to Pio. I love it. But right now Shift Shop is the thing. Love Shift Shop, but I broke my foot, so I couldn't do Shift Shop. So, you do have to focus on putting back those nutrients that you're going to be using while you exercise. And so it's great for anybody who's exercising. It's a great product for diabetics. The more I read about diabetes and learn about diabetes and how to treat it, how to prevent it, Shakeology has a very low glycemic index. So you have, no refined sugars in it. You have high protein, which is great for diabetics. And you do have a tremendous amount of superfoods that do help in some way regulate the blood sugar. And so for diabetics, it's a great product. It's great for anybody that has a wound. So people with non-healing wounds, especially people who are a little bit older that just don't get the same kind of nutrition because they don't eat quite as much. Wound care really focuses on high protein. High protein helps rebuild tissue, helps rebuild the skin. So people with extensive wounds definitely can benefit. People with burns definitely can benefit from Shakeology. When you're addressing health issues, and this is something that's always really important to me because I do get a lot of questions about, is this safe for me to do right now? Those are questions we as coaches have to be considering. We can't brush those aside and say like, yeah, it's good for you. Because there is a tremendous amount of nutrition in it, and there are certain times where that nutrition may be in excess. Pregnancy would be one of those times where you have to really redirect, talk to your OB. Is this safe? Should I maybe do half a scoop? Should I maybe do a quarter scoop? What's going to be safe for my body? And you need to work with somebody who is a medical professional to help give you that guidance so that you're not putting yourself in danger of, damaging important organs or children. So I always say, it's okay. One of the great things about being a coach is that we have this great team of resources that we can talk to each other. We can say, hey, I don't really know much about this. And so I wanted to reach out to you because I know that this is an area that you have looked at. And so, in my opinion, transparency and honesty is always the best way to go. Anytime that you're talking about selling a product, somebody's going to say, hey, I take a blood thinner. Can I still take this? The answer is absolutely. But you can take it with some guidance from your doctor. Certain blood thinners are going to interact with the green components of Shakeology with the spinach and kale because they're high in vitamin K. And so you are going to need to maybe adjust medications. And there's a great benefit in doing that. Even if it requires you to adjust medications, there's a great benefit in adding that nutrition to your diet and kind of fueling your body. Even if it requires you to work with your doctor a little on that. So kind of as we go through and we're talking to people about Shakeology, about drinking Shakeology, those are some things that, you're going to run into them because, as a whole, America takes a lot of medicine. And so when we talk to people, they're going to be taking medicine. We need to consider is this safe? Is it good? Most of the time the answer is yes. Some of the times it's maybe not going to be. So you have to be really cautious and make sure that we're doing what's right for each individual. So that, of course, involves understanding the product. We had a really long call last time. You're free to look it up and watch it. It was really boring because it covers superfoods. But as a whole, you just need to understand that the products that are in there, there's peer-reviewed information that we covered that, you know, really breaks down what each superfood ingredient is going to do for your body, what it has the potential to do, and what studies are being done right now to prove that and to examine that. Some of the other things you're going to encounter as a coach, and I know Angie kind of touched on this, is people who they're just like, you know, I don't love the flavor. My husband is one of those. He drinks it every day now, but it took a little tweaking. And that's what I tell everybody, you know, not everybody wants a medium rare steak. Some people want it well done. And so you're going to have to kind of learn to don't eat steak. It's bad for you, but you're going to have to learn how you like the Shakeology. You know, I know that for me, I prefer mine iced and in a blender. I'll drink it every day that way. But given what's in it and the amount of nutrition, if I don't have a blender, I'm going to shake it with water, and I do what I call the chunky chug, where, you know, you just choke it down and it's fine. You want to make sure you get it in, and it's not always going to taste great, but there are so many different ways to do it. Angie always laughs because one of the ways that I actually retained a customer was that they said, this is gross, and I agreed with them. I was like, you're right, strawberry is not my flavor. I just don't love it. And be honest with people. Sometimes you don't. One of the worst business practices ever is to lie about your product. If you think it's gross, somebody else will think it's gross too. Some people will like it. You know, greenberry, that's some people's jam. It is not mine. I just don't love it. That's all right, because I love vanilla with a little bit of cinnamon and some almond milk and some ice. So you find a way to drink it because it's important to get the nutrition in. And you do kind of tweak that for customers too. I mean, I have a discount coach right now that one of the ways that we got her on board was she had this super nasty green shake she was drinking, and she kept talking about how gross it was. And I said, well, I can fix that. So what she does now is a scoop of chocolate Shakeology with a scoop of power greens. She's getting way more nutrition than she was out of the other one. And she was like, wow, it tastes totally different, way better than what she was doing. So kind of learn your product, learn how to mix and match them, learn what people are not going to like. And that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge, like, hey, this maybe isn't for everybody, this flavor. But we have a lot of options. Some people don't like the regular chocolate, and some people like the vegan. And so you just mix and match. I try to make sure that I keep on hand a sample of pretty much everything so that I can say, like, hey, you know, you're right, that's nasty. Why don't you try this one and see what you think? And so that's one way to do it. The other thing that I really kind of run into a lot, you know, some people say, okay, you know, I'm happy with my nutrition. I'm happy with what I'm doing. You're not going to convince everybody to do Shakeology. Cost is a big deterrent for a lot of people. But when you get into the cost breakdown, that one's easy to overcome. But sell them another product. You know, if somebody has end-stage renal, let's say that you've got somebody who's young, maybe they're on dialysis, they're not going to be able to do Shakeology. It's just not for them. Sell them the fitness part. I mean, what we do is so well-rounded as Beachbody coaches that it's like, you know, I may not be able to sell Shakeology to you. You may not be a good fit for that product. But, you know, Beachbody On Demand's got tons of options for you. We've got, you know, new videos that are like really for beginners who don't have a whole lot of experience with fitness, who maybe aren't super athletic, and that's okay. We have some more advanced stuff if you are super athletic. So you kind of want to make sure that you know all of your products, that you know how to say, like, okay, you know, maybe that's not for you, but look at what else we do, because this may be a good option for you. This may be the direction you want to go with Beachbody. But I honestly believe that there's not a person who can't benefit in some way from what we do, or else I wouldn't do it. So, you know, that's one thing that is really important as new coaches, especially, to be able to look and say, okay, what do we have and what do you need? Because we can most likely match your needs. The cost breakdown is a little bit intense. I covered several different companies, one of whom I have actually worked for before. So that cost breakdown is really easy, and I understand their products really well. One of the things I do want to tell you is there are a lot of good products on the market. I don't ever do like a cost comparison with the intent to like bash another company or say like, hey, you know, they're doing something that's unethical. Now, that being said, the first product we're going to cover is actually one you can buy at Walmart. It's a shake in a can, and it's super popular. It's been around for years. There is a large chemical component to it. It does have an appetite suppressant in it, which is dangerous in some situations. In most situations, it's not beneficial. But it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap. And that's the thing that sells it better than anything. So for a month, if you do your 2 shakes a day the way that they recommend, they tell you, do 2 shakes a day and a healthy meal for dinner is kind of their slogan. To do that, you're going to spend about $75 a month. So that's for 2 what they are considering meal replacements. They also have lots of products that you can choose from. I like to hit the highlights for these. So you have a variety of chips and cookies to help benefit your health and wellness. They have multiple flavors that come in a can, anything from coffee to strawberry to chocolate. So just like we do, we've got a lot of options. Nutrition-wise, we have 0 superfoods. So you have none of the really dense nutrition, none of the things that we're looking at in complementary and alternative medicine for preventing illness, for building the immune system. We have a whopping 10 grams of protein. So, you're cutting your protein nearly in half for these shakes. And it is a highly, highly processed drink. So there is refined sugar that's in it. Things that we know for the body really are not beneficial. So obviously this is not a direction I would go. I would make a horrible salesperson for this. And I want to bring that to your attention because this is actually something that in the past I have tried myself. Because, when somebody wants to make a difference in the way that they look and the way they feel, there's a cost component, and there's also that, what are we seeing? If you go to Google and you Google weight loss, this is something that will come up. And so, there's a lot of exposure for that. It's a very popular company. It's one of those things that you see commercials on TV. And so people are willing to try it. And the important thing is being able to understand, okay, is this going to really benefit my health? Not just is this going to help me lose weight? Because honestly, if you eat healthy and exercise, the weight will come off. The problem is that people say they do it and they don't. So instead, we have to say, okay, could this work to lose weight? Sure. But am I going to be healthier or am I going to just be skinnier? And so that was one of the first products I covered. The second one that I covered actually has it has gone through several different people as their spokesperson. It's a big company, and what they do is they basically just select and ship your food. And so you're put on a really restrictive meal plan, which is beneficial in a lot of ways. For the pre-selected plan, you're looking at spending $294.60 a month. So that covers all of your food. That is actually their cheapest plan. I tried to do this the right way. What is their cheapest plan? How is it that I could spend the least amount of money? So for $294.60, that's their cheapest plan. It does include shipping, so you don't have to pay to have it shipped. Some of the problems with it, I actually have a friend who's a nutritionist that looked at some of these, and she said they're microwave dinners. That was kind of her description of what it is. It's small portions, which is, how you would lose weight doing that. And, there is that idea that it's rounded in moderation. You do have your carb and your protein, but still, again, it's highly processed food. And so you're not looking at eating fresh foods that are going to build up your immune system, that are going to make you healthy. You're looking at calorie counts, small portion sizes, and what will make you lose weight. And so again, when I talk to people, I really want to talk to them about, okay, am I going to be healthier or am I going to be skinnier? Because as a whole, we as Beachbody coaches, we don't push skinny. We don't say like, hey, I can make you be skinny. We say, I can make you be healthy. I can make your body, run on all cylinders. And so we want to make sure that, when we're looking to other products and looking at, cost and quality comparisons, that we are doing it in a way that we think, okay, long-term benefits in health, because that's what we want. The other program is actually really similar to that one. Also, lots of famous people that are working this product on television. So for this particular one, it's actually considered like a step above. It's your really like your gourmet meals. They are, again, meals that are frozen, shipped to you and reheated, which is not to say that that's necessarily bad. You do have a less processed component to this. You have lots of choices. The one benefit that they have that I thought was interesting is they do have a personal consultant. So you do have somebody to talk to about what you're eating and what you're doing. And for $600 a month minimum, that is an option. So you have kind of a monthly minimum that you have to meet, and that minimum is $152 a week. And so, you know, at least $600 a month that you're going to spend for food that's frozen and a consultant on the phone. Which leads me to my next. We're getting into some companies that we're seeing that are network marketing. So the first one that I covered, I have several friends that sell this product. I in no way want to say like, oh, this is a terrible product. Their big thing is wraps. That's kind of how they got started. That was the first way I ever heard about them, was that they did wraps. And wraps are kind of their thing. It's their niche in the market. As far as nutrition goes, the quality of their product is not terrible. That being said, it's not what Shakeology is. When I do the comparison, I'm looking at not only like, is there superfood, but you know, what superfoods are we talking about? And are there as many? Do we have as well-rounded nutrition in what they're doing as what we're doing? Because if you want to know the truth, that's really the end goal, I think, for all of us. When we look at it, if we found another product that we were like, this is going to, you know, beat us, this is going to be better for my body, I'm putting in what's better for my body every time, 100% of the time. And so when I do cost comparison, that's a big part of it for me is, okay, if I found another product, I'd go for it. But there's a reason why I stick with Shakeology, because as far as all of the research that I have been able to do, this is 100% of the time been a better cost quality benefit for me and for my family. This company does have a protein shake that has superfoods in it. They also have a protein shake without superfoods. So they have kind of two options. Obviously, the one with superfoods is much more expensive, but it has no probiotic. There are no minerals in it. So in order to get the same kind of benefit, you're looking at having to pop some pills with your protein shake. So you're going to take a probiotic, you're going to take a mineral capsule, and you're going to have the protein shake. There are no workouts. So there's no kind of addition of what we do with Beachbody On Demand and with individual workouts, even, you know, like PiYo or Quarter Force, Shift Shot. So you're getting none of that benefit from there. So you're going to have to look outside for that anyway. Total for the protein shake, the probiotic, and the minerals is about $125 a month. And again, that's looking at your cheapest. That's only with the bare minimum of what you can get. And it's also not the same quality. So the other one that I looked at, oh, and just as a side note, there is also some dairy in that one and soy. So those are two things that I try to avoid in my diet, just in general. And you may not avoid that in your diet. For me, I know that there is a lot of concern about soy in general. They do say that there's this non-hormonal soy, and that is always a big concern. So soy and dairy and that, if that's your thing, cool. It's not mine. So those are some specific reasons that I would avoid that. So the last one is everybody's favorite company in network marketing with the pink drink. You see this company everywhere. I mean, you're just seeing it all over Facebook. I have actually worked this business, and I've worked it successfully. So in the last call, we talked about this particular product, and I listed some prices that you would see as a retail customer. So that was really more high end. I did it kind of for the shock factor, to be honest. But I'm about to shock you in a different way with this one. So I reviewed it. I went back in as a preferred customer and looked at their discounted prices. So to do what we do with Shakeology involves a pink drink, a probiotic capsule, a magnesium supplement, a multivitamin, and protein shake. So you're talking about 5 products that you need in order to do what we do with one scoop. Your total cost to buy those products for 1 month is $240.28. And so that does require you to sign up for an auto shipment. It does not include any workouts. It does not include any kind of a real support system other than other coaches or, well, other ambassadors that are doing what you're doing. And you kind of build your support system there. The protein shake that they have has no superfoods in it. And it has 15 grams of protein, which 1 gram of protein wouldn't make or break it. But the lack of superfood in it really makes you have a larger requirement for what all you're trying to get in nutrition-wise. one of the hardest things for me when I look at a product like this is just the amount of work that you have to do. 2 pills with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 4 pills, before dinner if you're going to add your magnesium supplements. It's just a lot of work to do what we can do with one scoop. And to be honest, they've done a new pink drink, so I don't know what it tastes like now, but the first one was really hard to sell. So it was a challenge. There was not a whole lot of option there when I worked that business. And so it was very challenging to say like, hey, drink this, it tastes good, because it doesn't. It tastes like the beet juice that it is. So it was not my favorite. As far as the cost quality with what we do with Shakeology, Shakeology we know has a full 16 grams of protein. We know we have more than 22 superfoods in it. The research that I did on the last call, just to list some of the benefits that you find in the superfoods that are in it, you're talking about being able to, slow the growth of cancer, prevent the growth of cancer. You have a couple mushrooms that are in there that have some legitimate peer-reviewed research that shows that they can do those things. You can help lower blood sugar. You can help increase your energy. You can help improve your sex drive. You can help your sleep. You can help your workouts. So you have all of these benefits that we know are coming from Shakeology. So when I look at that, okay, I think quality of product, you have all of this. You have a lot of organic components that are in it. It is soy-free. So you don't worry about the possibility with soy. We know that you do have kind of this pseudo-estrogen that is not real estrogen, but it acts like it in the body, that especially for men can be dangerous. For any woman that has something like a breast cancer, it could be very dangerous for them to do that. And so we don't have that product at all. We don't have any soy in Shakeology. And so I look at that and I think, okay, so I know the quality of the product is good already without ever having to really like dig deep down into it, which we've already done. So the cost of the product right now, if you look at our starter pack, you sign somebody up, you've got Shift Shop, which is a really big deal, best quality. You're going to get Shift Shop. You're going to get years Beachbody On Demand, which is amazing. I love it. And then you're going to get a month's worth of Shakeology. Now, for me, I am addicted to discount coaching. When I talk to people, I talk to them immediately as coaches. And I tell them, you don't have to coach. But I feel like I should go ahead and tell you that this is a really great way to save money. And that is kind of just my style for selling it and for signing people up. It was really effective for me because I like a good deal. There are times where you want to build a coach differently, start them off as a customer and work them kind of into that, let them try the product. For me, I'm so addicted to Shakeology. I'm like, I already know it's going to be good for you. If you drink it, it'll work. One of the things that Angie and I have really talked about and covered is the idea that you don't really have to be married to the meal plan. Lots of people aren't going to change what they eat. They don't want to, and that's okay. When I talk to somebody and they're like, especially my mom, she's not changing the way she eats. She doesn't eat a lot. She's not overweight, and she doesn't see the need to change her nutrition. And so when I talk to her, I say things like, just drink it. You don't have to change what you're doing. Just add it to what you're doing. The nutrition that is in Shakeology is important, whether you're going to follow a healthy diet or not. Because if that's the only nutrition that you're going to get because you eat garbage the rest of the time, it's the best nutrition you could get. And so it's important that people be able to look at that and say, you're right, I'm going to just add this. Have it as a snack. Have it for breakfast. A lot of, especially women, are not breakfast eaters. And that's okay. Tell them, don't change another thing throughout your day, but go ahead and add this for breakfast and see if it doesn't make a difference. Because, when you look at the research, even the research that Shakeology has done, I'm addicted to the videos too. So one of the things that they were talking about is, it was almost 86%, I think, of the people that drank Shakeology said that they had fewer junk food cravings. Okay, well, that's not because somebody told them to be on a meal plan. It's because, they drink the Shakeology and you have this really solid nutrition that makes you not crave certain foods. We know that a lot of food cravings that we have come from vitamin and nutrient deficiencies. And so when we address those in advance, then, we are not as inclined to eat garbage. So those are just a few things that we wanted to cover. I know we promised to keep this call short, so I'm going to give it back to Angie. But if anybody has questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to look stuff up. It's really that's my thing. I may not know all the answers, but I do know how to look them up, and so I'm happy to do that anytime you need me to.
And especially being credible resources. I got feedback. Thank you so much. I was going to ask a question, but then you addressed it already. So I'm like, well, okay. So yes, thank you guys so much for being on the call. We did want to keep it short. Of course, this will be uploaded to our Shakeology Shakedown page. It's going to be available on YouTube. So I think calls like this on a regular basis are just so helpful. And, the more the repetition that we, talk to not only other coaches, but this isn't just about a business. This is about people. And so there's so many things that Brianna touched on that it makes me even just more excited to be able to share, to help family members, who have diabetes, to help people that I know in my church family and close friends who have health issues. Now, I might not be the one to reach them, but I can plant that seed. And that, I think, is the main important thing. We want to be able to plant that seed. Some people may not be for you, but somebody else will. And so we want to make sure we at least leave that good trace, that we care, that we want to see others healthy and happy. And me in particular, I was that person who ate like garbage, but I was thin. So in my mind, I was healthy. I had no idea, though, what I was really doing to my body because I can't physically see it on the outside. But when I started to eat better and when I started to follow the meal plan, not perfect by any means, so just putting that out there, but I know when I feel better. And I know that when I do sometimes go through a fast food joint, because it does happen from time to time, I feel like crap the next day. And so it's very simple, right? We feed ourselves bad, we crave it more, but when we address those, vitamin and nutrients that we're putting into our bodies, it does help. Anyway, so I'm now just rambling on and reiterating what Brianna is saying. Thank you again so much, and I look forward to our next call, and I hope you guys got a lot out of this, and please feel free to ask any questions, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good night. Bye. If I can end this.